Hi. So I've had a couple people, different, both in person and online, ask me about almost a mindset specific question for training jiu-jitsu. Two different areas, specifically claustrophobia when you are stuck in bad positions, and just general BJJ related anxiety, almost like anxiety towards training and things like that. Not even competition. Competition is almost separate, and there's actually a lot of really high level competitors that have posted stuff about dealing with competition anxiety. I really highly recommend you look those out. I'll link those if anybody wants specific examples of that in the video. But for first, claustrophobia. So claustrophobia, when it comes to things like bottom side control, bottom mount, maybe back control, and it can be really daunting and nerve-wracking in a way, because you have somebody on top of you pressing down on your chest. You feel like you're having a difficult time maybe breathing. So something that I want to talk about, even just like, this isn't necessarily technique, but just positioning. Anytime you're in a bad position, make sure you want your feet on the mat if you can, whether it's bottom side control or even bottom mount, because I see a lot of times people will try to escape with their feet up in the air, and there's nothing to push off of. You need to be able to have that hip movement, that shrimping, that hip escaping side to side to create space and get your knee line back to get back to a guard. The other thing, and this is really important, and I think it's keeping your elbows in, not just keeping, like, you hear the saying, keep your friends close and your elbows closer in jiu-jitsu, or keep your enemies close and your elbows closer, whatever it may be. But you want to keep those elbows pinned to your ribs, really. When I was a blue belt, I did my first fight to win match. I got arm triangled, and I asked the next day, Tom DeBlas headlined the card, and he did a seminar at Stout PGH with us in Pittsburgh, and I asked him, like, how do I stop from getting arm triangled like that? And he was like, I saw your match, just keep your elbows in. Like, it's really simple, keep that elbow in so you don't get your elbow separated away from your body and get arm triangle. So same thing, you want to keep those elbows in so you can get your frames in, so you can get your knee line connected to your elbow line and get back to some sort of a guard, all right? So that can help you right there. Now, that's easier said than done when you have somebody that's maybe larger than you or has good top pressure pressing down on you. That makes it that much more difficult to remember those key details and those fundamentals there. So on top of that, two things that I've found that help out a lot. Relax your face. Like, don't clench your teeth. Don't tense up. Try and relax your face. If your face is relaxed, it's gonna help the rest of your body relax. Try and be relaxed. Try to think about your breathing. Slow your breathing down. Breathing through your nose and out through your mouth. And that will help out as well. It'll lower your heart rate. It'll give you time to think, get you time to move. It's gonna be that much harder to choke you too, because anytime when your heart rate's up, that means that the blood is leaving your brain faster as well, as they're choking. Your arteries don't allow the blood to get to your brain. Well, your blood has to leave your brain through as well. So if your heart rate's really up, the blood's gonna be leaving, going back to your heart really quickly. So if your heart rate's up, you're gonna be that much easier to submit. So the calmer you can be, the easier it is gonna be to keep your head about you. So that's a big thing there as well. The other thing I try to do, I forget who told me this really early on when I was a white belt. I had an instructor tell me, try to force yourself to smile when you're training. You can't be like tense when you have a smile on your face. Like, it looks weird. Like, I've had people tell me, like, oh, you look so happy when you're training, and I'm like, I'm trying to stay relaxed. I'm not even, like, trust me, I'm not happy when I'm stuck in, like, bottom side control under somebody that outweighs me by 50 pounds. That's not fun. I don't think anybody enjoys that. But that will help out as well. The other tip that I can give for being stuck in these bad positions, go back there. Don't, it sounds cliche, face your fears, but go back there. Start in bottom side control with training partners you trust, you know, people that you know that, like, if it just gets to be too much, if you face this like genuine claustrophobia, like you start to panic almost, Pick training partners that you know, like I can tap out and reset. All right, and that's always an option too. That should always be an option, especially when you're first starting. I think if maybe if you're a little bit more experienced and you're a little bit more seasoned, or maybe if you're a competitor, you should only tap to submissions. But if you're newer and you're just getting going, both your instructors and your training partners should understand, okay, well, maybe they're completely unfamiliar with this position. They don't know what's going on here. They need to reset and go to something that maybe is a little bit more familiar to them. Or if like maybe you're injured, like just through something else, like maybe like they landed on your ribs wrong, it's not even a submission. You still have the option to just tap, reset, or end the round if you're injured, obviously. So you have that as well. That should always be an option, especially, like I said, especially when you're first starting. You have the option to tap and reset. And if you don't, maybe don't train with that person again. If your instructor has an issue with that, maybe talk to your instructor afterwards and tell them, like, maybe they don't know you have claustrophobic feelings from these bad positions, and if they're a good instructor, they're gonna tell you the same thing. Like, it's like you work through it, like take your time, work through it. It takes time, it takes practice too. I've had a lot of people, like newer people, like newer white and blue belts. I'll be rolling with them, and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, you seem so calm," because they'll see like I'm breathing. Like I'll have them start with me in like bottom side control or something like that, or they'll get in bottom side, they'll get in side control, get in mount, and I'm like, "Oh no, I'm not calm. I'm forcing myself to stay calm." So that's that, and that comes with practice. That doesn't happen right away. So as far as general anxiety, as far as training goes, I think that a couple things can help out. Remind yourself that like things aren't black and white. Like it's not, if you're feeling like anxious about going to class because you know somebody is gonna be there that's gonna like, they got your number and they're gonna whoop up on you, just know like, okay, well, class is class. It's not gonna go on forever. It's not gonna be a limited time. If this person, if they're just like better than you and they're just gonna beat you in jiu-jitsu, it's different if this is the type of person where they're trying to injure you. That's different. That's something that you need to discuss with them, and tell them like, hey, chill out, or discuss with your instructor if they don't want to respond to you telling them like, relax and I'm not trying to get injured, or you're under no obligation to train with anybody. If you are a jiu-jitsu hobbyist and you are training recreationally for fun, for your own enjoyment, and you have another student at your school that is reckless or intentionally tries to hurt somebody, if they're intentionally trying to hurt people, that's something your instructor should really deal with for the benefit of their own business, honestly. And if they don't, I mean, jiu-jitsu's, I mean, I don't want to sound callous, but jiu-jitsu is a business. You can take your business elsewhere if your instructor isn't prioritizing student safety. Obviously, you don't want to be coddled. This is a tough sport. This is a tough activity, tough martial art. But you don't want to be in a dangerous environment either. But that being said, if like you're just training with somebody that's just like they're gonna beat you up, this can be a rough time. It's gonna end. The round will end. The class will end. The open mat will end. It will not go on forever, even if it feels like it goes on forever. I remind myself of that if I'm like rolling with like one of our black belts that just like I got no answers, like they're just gonna beat me up. I remind myself, okay, this can only get so bad. It cannot. It's not gonna. It's gonna end. The round's gonna get end. It's gonna be over, and I'll go with somebody else. If you're very new, and I've seen this a lot with people that are either brand new or very, very new, I've heard this a lot actually. People will say that like they have to get to class half an hour early, and they have to like talk themselves into walking into the door, and that actually happens a lot more. It's a lot more common than you might think. As far as that goes, if you've never trained jiu-jitsu before and you're trying jiu-jitsu out, do your research, look up some reviews online for schools that you're interested in. Call the school beforehand, maybe even go in before so you can talk to some of the instructors without taking a class. Going out on a night before, like on a night when they're open for classes, and see if you can talk to the instructor. Talk to them about like how they run schools, they run their classes, how they run their curriculum, See if you can observe a class, just to get a little bit more comfortable with the environment there. And as long as they have like, as long as they're a reputable school and they have good reviews and things like that, they should be good with newer people. They should understand how to handle brand new people. They should understand that, okay, we're gonna be friendly and welcoming to new people. That's how you grow jiu-jitsu. That's how you grow your school. That's how you grow the sport of jiu-jitsu, the sport and the martial art of jiu-jitsu. You gotta be friendly and welcoming. So don't think that you're gonna go in and like don't think of it as like this is gonna be like a fight club where I gotta go prove myself and they're gonna beat me up on the first night and everything like that. If it's a good school, it's not gonna be like that at all. If you're maybe not brand new, but you're still on the newer side of things, like a couple months, don't get anxious about not knowing everything. I hear that a lot from new people. They'll say like, oh, I feel like I don't know what I'm doing. Well, you're learning something brand new that in a lot of cases you've never done anything like this before in your life. And like we get people all the time that come in from zero athletic background. Like they've never done anything athletic before in their life. Or if they have done something athletic, it's been in a team sport context. And so it's never been like a one-on-one situation with just them and their partner or opponent. And that could be nerve-wracking as well. And I think that for that, it'll come with time. It takes a long time to get good at jiu-jitsu. And speaking as somebody that's been doing it a long time relatively, I've been training jiu-jitsu for 11 years now. I started in May of 2012. I did MMA specific training for about 6 years, and for the last 5 years I've been doing jiu-jitsu specifically. I'll let you know when I feel like I'm good at jiu-jitsu. I'm not there yet, and I know plenty of black belts that will say the same thing, that are tremendous at jiu-jitsu, and they say they're not even good yet. So don't beat yourself up and don't be hard on yourself, okay? I tell people in this video specifically for like the hobbyist, the recreational person that wants to just do this for like a enjoyment outside of work and life. I'm impressed by all of you that just get on the mats every day. You guys are awesome. Like the fact that you do this outside of work, family, life, kids, whatever else you got going on, and you still are diligently at your training all the time. It is so impressive to me. It is really incredible to see that level of dedication from so many people. And I think that too many people are too hard on themselves. They're comparing themselves to like the best in the world, and that's not really fair because you're in two different. You're so far. You're comparing apples and oranges. You know, you're so far apart. So I think that be kind to yourself. Really, is what I'm saying. What I'm trying to get at. So as far as claustrophobia goes, think about keeping your body in tight and compact, and try to breathe, relax. Another thing I used to do when I first started too, one of our black belts back when he was a blue belt and I first started, Mike Wilkins, he recommended this: chew gum, because you can't clench your teeth while you're chewing gum. You know, so I would chew gum during my live rolls. I don't do that anymore. I have a mouth guard that I wear because I like to keep my teeth intact, but I like to not bite my tongue. But chewing gum's an option as well. And that helps out too. But relax, breathe. That's the big thing. Remember to breathe. If you know nothing else in jiu-jitsu, focus on breathing. Everybody can focus on breathing, okay? So relax, keep your elbows in tight, keep your legs in tight, and have fun. I mean, this is not life or death. This is not the end of the world. We are here to improve. We're here to grow as people. We're here to get better at jiu-jitsu, and part of that is being relaxed, being comfortable, being able to like sit and focus. You can't if you're too like worried about what's going to happen in live rolls, you're not going to be able to focus during instruction and drilling. So I know it's easier said than done, and I'm not saying, oh, you're anxious, just relax. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. But remember, talk through your anxiety with yourself. You know, realize that this is not worst case scenario is not going to happen. Like I'm probably not going to get injured. I'm probably not going to get hurt, and no one's going to care. No one is going to care whether you win or lose. Your instructors care about you coming to class. They do not. They're happy you're coming. All right. They're going to help you improve. That's what they're there for. That's what their job is. That's why they teach. They teach it out. Most of the time, your instructor is teaching jiu-jitsu because they love jiu-jitsu and they love teaching people jiu-jitsu. They are there to help you get better and improve. So remember, just show up. I know it sounds cliche, and yes, at a certain point, once you get to maybe blue or purple, you should take some responsibility for your growth and development. But when you first start jiu-jitsu, just show up. As long as you're showing up and you have a positive attitude about it, you will get better, all right? If you have good instructors, good training partners, and you show up with a good attitude, you will get better. So don't beat yourself up about it. You're not going to know everything when you first start. And it will help you in other areas of life. It's helped me in other areas of life. I know that, like, okay, if I can deal with being stuck under a 250-pound, 300-pound guy in side control, whatever like other stresses I got outside of here, it seems a lot less. It seems a lot minimal, and it works both ways too. The more life experience I get outside of here, it helps me stay level-headed on the mats and training as well. So I know I kind of rambled on there a little bit with this one. This is the first like mindset one I've done, not technique. So I'm not sure how it's gonna turn out. I hope you guys like it. If you have any other questions, I still have a guillotine defense video lined up and that I'm gonna be doing, and I have a couple of my favorite sweeps. I'm gonna show some stuff from half guard and close guard coming up, and feel free to keep asking questions, keep sharing these videos. I really appreciate all the support from everybody, and I hope you found this helpful. Thank you very much.